Recently, I encountered a video where the actress Michelle Williams was receiving the Golden Globes award for Best Actress. Um, and it was quite disturbing to encounter some of the things that she was saying, and why she's thankful for why she's receiving this award and why she's able to do what she's able to do as an actress. Many times when people get up for receive an award, they give a speech, what they're thankful for, who they're thankful for, and things like that. And so, in typical fashion, she goes up to the stage and really says she's thankful for abortion, thankful for the right to do it, thankful for that right, quote unquote, is able to exist in America. I find that very disturbing because let's just put it out there. Because many times in the conversation of abortion, it's the right to choose, and I say right to choose what? The right to choose the murder of this child. I mean, that's what's being advocated. As fanciful as they want to put it, and it's about women's health care. Okay, well, you're killing this baby though. I mean, even want to say it's for health care. Okay, this baby's dying. I mean, that's what you're advocating for. At least the right for that to exist. And so I want to play this video. I want to get into what she's saying and provide a critique. So without further ado, let's do that.
Thank you so much, first of all, to my Fosse Verdon family and to the Hollywood Foreign Press Association. When you put this in someone's hands, you're acknowledging the choices that they make as an actor, moment by moment, scene by scene, day by day, but you're also acknowledging the choices they make as a person, the education they pursued, the training they sought, the hours they put in. I'm grateful for the acknowledgement of the choices I've made, and I'm also grateful to have lived at a moment in our society where choice exists, because as women...
And like I said, let's be aware, what she's arguing for is the choice to murder your baby. That's what she's advocating for. I don't know Michelle Williams. I don't know her life, don't know her personally, but that's the argument. The right for the choice to exist to murder your baby or not. Whatever you want to do is up to you, but that's what's being advocated.
And as girls, things can happen to our bodies that are not our choice. I've tried my very best to live a life of my own making, and not just a series of events that happened to me, but one that I could stand back and look at and recognize my handwriting all over, sometimes messy and scrawling, sometimes careful and precise, but one that I had carved with my own hand, and I wouldn't have been able to do this without employing a woman's right to choose.
So she's saying she wouldn't have been able to go down the career path she's on without the right of abortion to exist. And I saw from someone that says this lady is now currently pregnant, carrying a baby, saying all this. The irony of ironies, if that's true. Like I said, I don't know her. And so she wouldn't have been successful, personally for her, without the right, the option to murder your baby or not. I mean, that's asinine thinking. Logically, I don't follow how that's I don't follow how that's reasonable. And look at this young lady here. She's in tears. She is teared up. She's emotionally overwhelmed. For what? Like I just wish one day, the pro-choice advocate would get up there and say, I am happy for the right to have my baby that I do not want to be murdered limb from limb. I am so happy that I don't have to have that burden. Because that's what they're saying. Like, just put it out there. I think people, if you said it that way, people, a lot of, humane people would see like, wow, okay, I am not for that. I recently saw a video where people were shown an abortion. They were pro-choice and they were shown the abortion. And it caused them to say, okay, I'm not for that. Because, it's one thing for it all to exist in the theory. And it's like, oh, yeah, just rid the baby. And you don't put in your mind what actually is happening when the baby's being ridded. but when you actually see it, it is disturbing. Anybody with a moral code would have a problem with it.
To choose when to have my children and with whom, when I felt supported and able to balance our lives, knowing, as all mothers know, that the scale.
I want to say this with respect and love and care for women and Michelle Williams, women like Michelle. That is one of the most selfish things I've ever heard. You know, you want to have the child when you want to have it. So, you have sex, you have, and I'm not going to, maybe I'll get into the rape deal later, but you're going to have these relations with all these men. You want to be as sexually promiscuous as all get out. Then you find out you're pregnant. Maybe you didn't like this guy. He was good enough to have sex with, fill your one night pleasure, but to be a father, for you to be a mother with this man, you're like, no way. That's selfish. You're going to punish this child for what reason? You just not being ready at that point. Thankfully, many mothers don't think like that. Many people, when they get pregnant, they I think the motherly instinct is to take care of this child that I'm now bearing. Thankfully, most people don't think like Michelle. Most women don't think like Michelle. That is very selfish of you. Very selfish. Because you're putting your career, your wants and desires before this child you've now created. If you didn't want the child, you shouldn't have had relations. And aspects of rape. Okay, let's get into that, right? I don't believe in punishing the child for the crimes of the father. I believe society should bear together, come together, and help this woman. Not punish the child. And I believe the man who does that should be executed. I mean, that's the lowest of the low, to rape a woman. And so, and those are, and to be aware, those are very small percentages that actually happen. The majority of cases are women like this who just want to kill their child just for convenience sakes. They're not ready. Selfish.
Must and will tip towards our children. Now, I know my choices might look different than yours, but thank God, or whomever you pray to, that we live in a country founded on the principle.
How dare you even bring up God's name in this? How dare you bring up God's name as, yeah, that's why you guys say, oh, whoever you pray to. The creator of the universe is not for the avocation of murdering children. Don't even bring God's name into this as if you are somewhat religious and concerned about what God thinks. I mean, let's just be real. You don't care.
That I am free to live by my faith, and you are free to live by yours. So,
except if you don't agree with abortion. We're tolerant until you disagree with us. Then we're intolerant. Right? So if I say, hey, look, I actually don't think abortion is best for society. I mean, we keep raising the limit of when you can abort the baby. I mean, I believe in New York or Virginia, they're having the baby and having conversations. Okay, right when the baby's being plopped out on the table, hey, you sure you want to keep this child? Those are conversations being happened. And according to Michelle, you should be free to make that choice. But, at a day old, why not 2 years old? Let's say you just get tired of raising the baby. It's a lot of hard work. You're a single mother. You're like, I can't do it anymore. Should you be able to kill your child then? Should you be able to kill your child then? Logic will tell you, yeah. But this movement isn't based on logic. It's based on emotion, based on selfish wants and desires. Not based on motherly instincts to actually raise the child. That's what's being advocated.
Women 18 to 118, when it is time to vote, please do so in your own self-interest.
No, please do so in Michelle's best interest. Because guess what? For, let's say 60% of the women say, I think it's in my best interest to raise children whenever I get pregnant. You know, not to kill my child. I think it's let's put it like this. I think it's in women's best and society's best interest to raise a child rather than kill the child. I mean, I don't think I'm saying anything too controversial just right there on the surface. If that's controversial, then you need a new moral code. Um, your moral code is based on self, fulfilling, pleasing, self, gratifying self. You could never understand. It seems Michelle right now could never understand laying down her own self wants and desires for the sake of another. But if she's not happy, kill the child. Can't do it.
Men have been doing for years.
And the crowd goes crazy.
It's what men have been doing for years, which is why the world looks so much like them.
I find that funny given that Roe versus Wade was the ruling was given by a bunch of men and white men. You know, I know that's definitely out of bounds today. So it was men, wicked men at that, who gave you Roe versus Wade, but you're okay with it because it fits what you want. So this statement is just filled with emotion just because the society is just so anti-man. We're in this feminist age, so that's just thrown in for the red meat for the followers.
Don't forget, we are the largest voting body in this country. Let's make it look more like us. Tommy and Matilda, I can't wait to come home to you.
Disturbing, very disturbing. Society should not look like a mere reflection of ourselves. Me being a Christian, obviously, I believe that society should reflect God's character and nature. I posted something recently on my Facebook that I definitely want to share. Let me quote this. I believe this quote is from John Piper. I said, "Christ died that we might live. This is the opposite of abortion. Abortion kills that someone might live differently." I mean, she echoed that sentiment to the T, right? She wants to live better. She wants to live more fulfilled. So she is willing to commit an abortion for her own well-being rather than saying, hey, I bore this child. I'm going to sacrifice my career. I'm going to sacrifice my own happiness for the sake of this child's happiness and the betterment of their future and career. I mean, right, they cannot understand that. Michelle definitely cannot understand that kind of thinking. And so I want to do a review on this because I saw it on Facebook. People in there going nuts over the advocating of killing children. And it's amazing, we went from thanking God to thanking God when we receive awards to thanking abortion, this nebulous, immoral act. Really but also, just interested to see how society has taken that turn. But, obviously, from my point of view, it's, when you live in a society who's very nominal about their belief in God, this is what happens. Yeah, they were thanking God, but look at the things they were doing. So I don't think it's something surprising from my outlook on it. But pray for Michelle. Pray for these people. They need a heart change. They need their mind change. They need to be regenerated, born again. They need to be granted repentance, granted the belief of God. Because that was just crazy to hear. And I hope our ears, I hope our minds are still shocked when we see that and not numb to it. Because we can be. It can be numbing, like, yep, here goes somebody crazy again, advocating for abortion. Advocating for the killing of their child because they're not ready. How many, and all in the view of women's rights, but You know how many women are killed in abortions? I mean, I mean, there are women in that womb that are being killed, but they don't care. Um, do they tell you that women are more prone to types of cancer? They're more prone to depression and suicide because of abortion. They don't care about women's rights. It's not a women's rights. It's not a health rights. Because if they surely cared about it being health rights, they would say abortion is the worst thing for women. It's all for self. It's the idol of self. And so I wanted to recommend some resources. These aren't resources necessarily on abortion, but just to help the mind be thinking about these atheistic arguments, unchristian arguments, to say the least. This one's Discerning Truth by Dr. Jason Lisle. He's also done some work on abortion. You can YouTube his material. Very good, apologist. Really smart, but this is exposing errors in evolutionary arguments, and so I think that's definitely related because this comes from a naturalistic presupposition about man. If man is nothing but matter, nothing but above all fish, surely you can kill the children. I mean, it's nothing wrong with that, right? But if men are made actually the image of God, then they're very then there's actually a sound logical reason, biblical reason not to kill them. Also, The Defense of the Faith by Cornelius Van Til. Very good apologetic resource to pick up. If you have any abortion, books on abortion, feel free to drop them in the link. Would definitely recommend that to others. But my prayer is that America would stop killing children. I mean, it's sad to see that. I mean, millions, literally more people than the Holocaust are killed by abortion. Abortion has far exceeded what the German Nazis ever even imagined would be possible. And so, hey guys, hope this video is helpful. Hopefully someone hears this who disagrees and thinks about these things. Hopefully they were challenged in this video. Till next time, grace and peace.